Hello and welcome to PMP Prep Exam in a nutshell. I am Muhammad Radi, Director of Project Metric Solution. In this session, we are gonna continue on working on the planning. Our processing group is planning process group and knowledge area is project schedule management. Our goal is to develop schedule management plan. Our methodology is to work from the initiating. We are going to work according to project management process group, not according to the knowledge area. So we started with the initiating process group, and then we will continue to work until we finish the closing process group. The last session we have talked about the how to develop the scope management plan and how to develop requirement management plan and the scope baseline. All these three in blue is in part of the project management plan. In this session, we are going to talk about the schedule management plan and schedule baseline. The learning objective here is to work with under knowledge area. We are going to talk about planning process group and the monitor and control process group. But because we are talking about only about the planning group, then we are not going to talk about the control schedule. We are going to talk only about the planning processing group and identify the primary output of planning process in a schedule, which is in chapter 6, page 141. What is the schedule management plan is about? It addresses the following. It defines how schedule contingencies will be reported and assessed. Who has the authority and responsibility for schedule management? Who does approve acceptance of project schedule? How the schedule is defined? How the schedule is measured, validated? What the level of accuracy? What the acceptable range in normal cases? What the acceptable ranges in contingencies? Units of measure is defined in here in your schedule management plan to for each resources in terms of the staff hours, the staff days, the meters, leaders, all this will be defined in your schedule management plan, and of course your reporting format, how it looks like, it should be defined. What the major outputs here, it is the major output here from your project schedule management is which will be included on the PMP. You got to talk about the schedule management plan and the schedule baseline, where it is part of the project management plan. And also you have major documents, which is going to be part of the project documents. You're going to have here activity list, activity attributes, the milestone, activity duration estimate, the project schedule network diagram, activity resource requirement, resource breakdown structures, all of them, all of those under the project document. What the input and outputs and tool and technique you are going to use it here, you are going to use here in the planning, you are going in the input, you are going to talk about the project management plan, project charter, enterprise environmental factors, organization process assets. When you talk about the enterprise environmental factors, we're talking about the market demands, all the technology used, organization process assets, what policies you have. Tool and technique here, we are going to talk about the expert judgment, meetings, analytical techniques, and then you're going to get the schedule management plan. Then the next step is define activities. When you define the activities, it's a process of identifying work package and documenting the specific action to be performed to produce the project deliverable. Here, the inputs here, you are going to talk about the schedule management plan, scope baseline, and then you are going to use the enterprise environmental factors, organization process assets, tool and technique. There is new expression here, two expression, decomposition and rolling wave planning. Please look them up on your book or if you have the software, soft edition of the project. And here the output here, activity list, activity attributes, and milestone. Be careful for those because you might use them as input for the next step, which is sequence activities. What is it about? It is identifying and documenting the logical relationship and dependencies that you are going to estimate the type and the quantity of resources required, and you identify the documents and inter-activity dependencies, and you're going to support realistic and achievable schedule. What the input and tool and technique here and the output, you are going to use a schedule management plan, scope baseline, and the activity list, activity attributes, the milestone. Those the output here when you were using the estimate activity resources. When you define the activities, you have the activity list. You are going to use it as input when you are going to make sequence activities. Tool and technique here, these two expressions, I'd like you to look at them again, precedence diagramming methods and applying leads and lags. The output here, the project schedule network diagram and the project documents update. The next step, you are going to estimate the activities resources. It is estimating the type of quantities and material, human resources, equipment, and supplies. What the inputs here is a schedule management plan, activity list, activity attributes, activity cost estimates, and with tool and technique, it is a new expression, bottom-up estimating, which is accurate. Um, Please look at the expression here in the dictionary of the on the index of the PMP guide, and the output here, activity resource estimate, resource breakdown structure. What to study in the tool and technique, this is the new expression. I'd like you to pay attention to it, bottom-up estimating. Now we are going to talk about the estimate activity duration. What the input here, before we go to the inputs, it is a process approximating the numbers of work periods needed to complete individual activities. The inputs, as you see, it is output from other processes. In the tool and technique, there's three expressions here. I'd like you to focus on analogous estimating, parametric estimating, 3-point estimates, and what you're going to get the output, it is the project duration estimate. The next step is to develop the schedule. And when you develop the schedule, it determines the start and finish dates, and you will analyze activity sequences, duration, resources, and schedule constraints to document your project schedule. What the inputs, what the tool and technique, what the outputs here, when you develop the schedule, you are going to use the schedule management plan as input. You are going to use the activity list. You are going to use activity attributes. You are going to use activity duration estimates. In terms of the tool and technique, I like to pay attention to schedule network analysis, critical path methods, and critical chain methods. I like you to know the difference between both. And the output here measure is a schedule baseline. You're going to get the project schedule data, the project calendar, and you are going to update the project documents. You are going to update the project management plan. So when you develop the schedule, pay attention. Pay attention that the output, the measure output is the schedule baseline. Now, what is the next step after when you develop the schedule? You are going to plan the cost management. So, next video, we are going to talk about the planning process group, the cost management plan, how to plan the cost management, how to estimate the costs, how to determine the budget, and how to identify the primary output of the project cost management process. If you like my video, please subscribe, share, and go to my website, Project Metric Solution. PMP-Planning.com and go to the resources and check any links will helping you to study. Thank you.